Hey folks, welcome back to Downstairs Den&D. We're waiting on one of our players to come back from our break. Waiting on some tea. Yeah. Does anybody want to spill the tea?
What tea do you want spilled?
I don't know. How you been? How's quarantine going?
It's fine.
Lonely?
Lonely? You're not quarantined by yourself. What do you mean lonely?
You can be lonely with other people.
That's fair. You're not wrong.
It's not like whenever I'm with her I feel lonely. It's like I miss everyone else, I guess.
Right? Socializing.
Yes. Yes.
He started to get to me this week. I don't even consider myself a very social person.
We went over to her mom's last night for game night. And I swear to you, whenever I went outside, it was like a child being said, like, you're out of timeout. Like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I felt weird driving because I haven't drove a car in, like, what, a week and a half?
I thought you'd been going into
it was
work.
Awkward. No, my boss gave me the option saying that if I didn't feel comfortable working, I didn't have to, so.
Oh, I thought somebody told me that you were the only one that was going and working.
I was, but I started having panic attacks and stuff. So I was honest with my boss. I said, hey, you know, like, I'm having panic attacks. Like, I don't know what to do. And apparently his wife has bad panic attacks, and I guess he understood. So he said, if I don't want to work, I don't have to. So,
Good.
That's nice
But-
of him.
yeah. And I think he's getting that stimulus check, you know, to pay everybody's salary. So I think he told me he was going to close. the
Oh,
industry
good.
if
He
got that
applied.
check anyway.
Is he small enough to be qualified for the small business?
The PPP, I think is what he's doing. I don't know what that is.
Got it.
I think he might go for the disaster loan, but I'm not for sure about that one. I think he was wanting the PPP because it was like you don't have to pay it back or something. I don't know.
All right, and Edison is back.
Sorry, I was fumbling with the French press. I've made coffee like twice ever, so.
In a French press, or you've made coffee twice ever?
Oh, in a non-commercial coffee maker.
Do you just never make coffee at home?
Correct. I have like a mere replacement with coffee in it. And that's usually how I drink coffee.
Oh, right. You do Soylent?
Correct.
Gotcha.
This is now a Soylent.
Not a sponsor. Speaking of not a sponsor, but still an awesome company, sounds and music provided by Sirenscape.
Legally required to say that.
Yep. I don't know if it's legally required, but they ask you to if you ask for them, so I'm going to. So, you all are making your way from the Skewered Dragon to a warehouse that you were told that is up on Candle Lane, which is...
They do have a candle, though.
Yep.
Are there any taverns or anything in that area?
I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find Candle Lane.
It's on stream.
It's what?
Look at your stream. It's up there. Actually, I can do that. Ping.
Hey.
Yep.
Oh, hey!
Give away.
Look at that. Cool. So, as you all are walking past, or walking up toward Candle Lane, what you do notice So in regards to your question about nearby taverns, you wouldn't know because you're not really from here, but I lost it again. It's so small. Where'd it go? The stream's just spinning for me. Oh, it's over there by the Way of the Dragon. Oh, there it is. Nice. Okay.
Oh, and just a reminder, Billy, if it matters, we get there twice as fast because I know the streets.
Are you using that? You gotta tell me when you're using
I thought it was a passive. It's not like a once per day or anything.
It's not a once per day thing, but there's a difference between, oh, we're just going to, casually take main streets and get there as normal versus we're using the shortcuts and whatnot that I know. You know what I mean?
I would have a short conversation with everyone saying, as long as you can tell me where we're going, I can get you there quickly. Kind of thing.
That's fair. That'll be important sometimes. Other times, sometimes it's helpful to
I assume it doesn't
look like
matter
the
right
folks.
now, but, just in case.
Super important to know.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. No, so actually, as you guys... everyone give me a perception check.
Woo!
This is a good roll for us.
Yeah.
Tennyson, did you roll twice?
No, that was an older one.
Oh, okay. And if you do not have dark vision, please roll that perception check with disadvantage.
I'm carrying my lantern in the dark.
Oh, okay. What kind of lantern do you have, Tennyson?
Hooded. I have a
Hooded?
hooded lantern. Yep.
Is it open or closed?
Oh, it's open. We ain't trying to be
30,
sneaky
30?
right now. I don't
It's a
think.
pudding lantern.
Is that 30-30?
I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So everybody can maintain that with not advantage. So actually, everyone except for Baracus notices as you are walking past the old Zoblop shop again, on your way to Candle Lane, you notice an odd item kind of in the that kind of glints in the what is now becoming moonlight.
Can you repeat
Anybody-
that? You kind of
Yeah, did anyone
cut out.
miss what Billy said there?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it
We
going?
just couldn't
There's
hear
only
the
like-
first couple words.
Yeah.
So as you all are making your way here, I'm gonna change something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Everybody hear me? We good. I'm actually gonna just manual sensitivity and turn it down a bit. So as you all are making your way toward Candle Lane, and as you are passing by the old Zoblop shop again, everyone except for Baracus notices an item, something kind of glinting in the gutter of the street.
I will investigate because I usually don't see things in the dark.
So you go over and pick this up. You kind of wipe some refuse off of it, and it appears to be a kind of rectangular metal tablet, probably about 8 inches in height, 4 inches across, that has like a figure of a horse with like a horn on its head carved into its facade, and then there's a big hook sticking off of the top of this little thing.
Does it look like it could have been a pendant?
I mean, you could have attached a chain or something to the hook that's sticking out of the top. It is sticking out like vertically and not like out at you.
Isn't the unicorn the symbol of what's his face we're looking for?
You know, it is a unicorn, and you do recall that the dwarf, Silverfingers, told you that Flood Blagmar dressed rather flamboyantly with a unicorn bas-relief hanging from a blue beaded necklace around his neck.
So do we think that this would relieve a ba?
Yes, this is, yes. This does appear to match the description of that.
Oh, so we're close.
Oh,
Boy
we're
got,
still
Boy
not
got
that
jumped.
close to the warehouse, right? Because we were not quite there, and we had just
So
not that
let's
far from where we
say
were.
that is where the warehouse is. And let's say... give me a moment. Okay, so I've already marked on there where the skewered dragon is. Let's put on there... I'm gonna mark Candle Lane. Let's say that's where the Candle Lane is, if I see that white square.
Yep.
And then the old Zoblob shop is... actually, it is here.
Okay. Well,
If I see that,
Yeah.
gotta look around for signs of a scuffle.
give me an investigation check.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Okay. Taking a look around, you do actually, a few feet north on Zastro, you see a small blue bead laying in the gutter.
I head that way. I start tracking
Definitely
this.
his.
Yeah.
What's everybody else doing? Anything?
Yeah, I was helping investigate, looking for pieces.
Okay.
While they're looking, I'm gonna keep looking around to make sure no one's like watching it.
Okay.
I'll go with Baracus and do the same.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look on keep on investigating, and kind of try to follow the trail.
Okay. So Demea and Elisar, both go ahead and give me an investigation check. Baracus and Cienithus, please both give me perception checks. Alright, so Demea and Elisar. Again, this intersection is a bit of a T there where Filet meets Zastro. And I'm just gonna say each of the three of you that are investigating the area kind of take one branch of the way. So I'm gonna say Demea, you went west, and taking a look around, you do not see any signs of a scuffle in this direction or anything stand out. Elisar, taking the eastern path along Filet, you also do not find anything of note particular. And then again, Tennyson, you found that bead a bit of a distance north up Zastro. Then Baracus and Cienithus, you're both kind of keeping a lookout. Cienithus, you actually do see in the window of the old Zoblob shop, small round face watching you all from inside,
I look over at Baracus.
kind
and
of
tell him what I
peeking
see.
out from behind the stuff beholder in the window.
I kind of whisper to him like, "Hey, there's somebody watching us over there."
I would like to cast a message and point to the person in the window and say,
Message. Remind me of the components of message.
I think I could just post it in the chat. Nope. Hold on.
I just need to know if they're basically. I just need to know what the verbal semantic component. What is it?
All three, and a short piece of copper wire.
Okay, so I'm assuming you have a component pouch, though.
Point a finger towards a creature within range to whisper a message to target, and only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can.
So you reach into your component pouch and pull out a small piece of copper wire. Perform the somatic component, so it is clear to the person who is watching you that you are performing a spell. At that point, as you are wrapping it up, they duck their head down below the window, but then they do hear, they don't get a save or anything, it just happens, right?
Right.
Right, okay, so then they hear your message in their head, and your message is...
Greetings, we mean no harm.
And remind me, he gets to respond up to 15 words?
It just says that you can reply, but it says it lasts one round, so...
Oh, so they can only reply on their next turn. Does it limit what the reply can be?
No, it just says... here, I'll just copy and paste the whole spell.
Hail and well met. Come browse the shelves of the most curious curiosity shop in the world.
I wasn't sure if that was a toddler or an old woman.
The gnome replies, "Hell and well met. It does seem a little odd that what you're doing, but they reply. They seem to, they reply to you in the message. Hail and well met.
I want to approach...
When they hear your message, they peek back up, realizing that what you were casting was just message.
Okay. Can we go up to the door? Did she actually invite us in to look at the... She said it was like one of those, like...
A curiosity shop?
Yeah, like one of those off the... Oh, wait, does it have, like, real things, or is it, like, one of those places, like, off the highway that has a 3-minute goat and things like that?
I'm gonna say you definitely have heard of the old Zoblop shop. It's been around for a long time. It is actually named for the stuffed beholder in the window that is known as Old Zoblob. You've never been inside of it, though.
I would like to reply and say, do you mind if we come in and ask you a couple questions?
So you're casting message again.
Yeah, it's a cantrip, so whatever.
Yeah, the door's open!
I mean, it seems like we should ask them at least if... I'm not using much, but ask them if they saw the struggle.
That's what I'm saying, is because if she's bored and looking out the window all the time, like the neighbor from Bewitched, then maybe she's seen something.
Oh, the other people still like investigating down the road that they were going.
So yeah, I'm saying like this scene with Baracus and Ciendithis, seeing them in the window is happening while the three of you are checking each of your directions.
Okay.
We're all kind of keeping an eye on each other, so I assume we would have noticed that Baracus is spell casting right now.
Yes. But you don't see anything emit from him. There doesn't seem to be any kind of ray or immediate threat.
Okay. I want to go in and talk to the gnome.
Say if I didn't see anything, I'd probably head back and follow him in.
Okay. So yeah, Baracus. So then Baracus, Elisar, Ciendithis, and Zemea, you said you as well? Head inside.
I mean, if everyone's heading in, I'm going to go in.
Okay, so you pop back in. I'm going to say they all.
Idea.
Here's what I got. So the Baracus and Sandithus, you notice this and have your little conversation about seeing this person and casting your couple spells. While Elisar and Demea search their ways, don't really find anything. They come back up to you as you all are walking in. When you hear that door close behind you, Tennyson, for the third time, you turn around and see that everyone seems to have gone inside. I imagine that is happening right as you are standing up holding that blue bead. So you find that bead, stand up, you're holding it in your hand as you turn and look and hear and see the door close behind them as they just abandoned you in the street.
So we just left him?
Well, I mean, he's just right outside. You guys saw that he's just less than a block away. But I imagine that they all just walked inside as you've made that discovery. So you haven't shared it with any of them yet. But as you all walk in, a cloud of lavender-scented purple smoke trails out of the shop's door as you open it up. Every wall is painted purple, and every dusty knick-knack on the shelves is dyed a deep violet. The hairless old gnome, sitting cross-legged on the counter, wears plum-colored robes. His cheeks are decorated with 9 purple face-painted eyes. The gnome lowers a pipe and exhales a cloud of lavender smoke before raising a hand. Hail and well met. Come browse the shelves in the most curious curiosity shop in the world.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Baracus. We were looking for someone, and I was wondering if you had seen anything. I give a brief description of the person we're looking for. And when they went missing.
Oh, yeah, I saw him get into a scuffle a few nights ago, right outside the shop.
Can you provide any more detail than that, please?
Well, I sure can. But my services are for paying customers only.
Yeah. How much does it? Is it just like a museum kind of deal?
You take a look around. There are just all kinds of strange oddities and trinkets. Are you taking the time to look around, or are you just going to kind of grab the closest knickknack on the counter and say, here, I'll just buy this then?
Oh, so it's a shop. Okay.
It is a shop. Think like an eBay reseller that dyes everything purple.
Okay. I look for the cheapest, smallest thing I can find.
You take a look around, and you find an enormous, about the size of a dinner plate, scale that appears to be covered in a pink or a purple ink. That actually, as you rub it off, it's not purple at all. It's whatever color that would need to be mixed, or it's blue. It's blue ink. And as you wipe it off, it appears to be covering a red scale. But it has just a little tag on it that says 3 silver pieces.
Okay. I would like to purchase this, whatever it is.
Would I see that the purple was coming off of it?
I mean, if you were, I would say, Baracus, do you think you would have paid enough attention to rub into it?
Yeah, just a little bit as I picked it up, because it doesn't look.
I mean, you tell me then, Xanthithus, are you paying attention to what he's doing, or are you looking around yourself?
Well, I walked in there with him, so I would assume I'd be with him.
I'm definitely not trying to show the gnome that I'm oh yeah, this is clearly bullshit. I'm trying to conceal the fact. I'm trying to make it look like I'm bought into the whole thing.
Gotcha. Okay. So Xanthithus, give me a Baracus, give me a sleight of hand, and Xanthithus, give me a perception.
6.
19.
You do not notice that, Xanthithus.
So I purchased the scale. Did it say what kind of scale it was?
Give me a intelligence nature check.
I wasn't sure if like the label claimed that it was like from a dragon or something.
It did not, but if you ask old Zablob, he does claim that it is from the fabled purple dragon.
Oh. I feign amazement, and like I start like I'm wondering why this is so cheap, and I immediately purchased it.
He tells you that he has friends of the Order of Purple Dragons.
Am I in the shop?
And has a well supply. Did you follow them in?
Yeah.
I think you believe you did. Yeah, you walk in right around this conversation.
Insight check.
Give me an insight check.
20.
This guy doesn't know who the fuck the Purple Dragons are. He kind of gave you a look and a nod as you walked in, and seemed to not notice anything in particular about you. As he is standing here claiming to know members of the Purple Dragons who supplied him with that scale.
Now that I'm a paying customer, can you answer my question?
Well, yeah, of course. A few nights ago, I at the end of the last 10-day, him and another similar-looking pompous fella were walking down the street and were jumped by a handful of men in black armor. Black leather.
Do I know? Was that one of the organizations? I know we've been over like 5 different organizations in the city. Do we know anyone that wears specifically black?
Not specifically, no.
Okay. Did they have any like insignias or anything on the armor?
He says none of them looked familiar to him. He does give you kind of a brief description of anything notable that he remembers. And based on what Silver Rings told you, it sounds like the 5 men that followed Floon and Raynar from the Skewer Dragon.
Gotcha. Can I see whether he's lying or not?
Give me an insight check.
6.
He appears to be telling the truth.
I'm looking around just at the shop. I don't think that there's anything that's like something that's unusual and really catches my attention.
I'm kind of doing this.
Something I don't know what it is.
Say that again?
Something that I wouldn't like have a clear understanding of what it is.
You said the scale was 3 silver?
Yeah.
I'm trying to deduct it.
LSR, you find bas relief, very similar to the. Actually, hold on. Let me look at something real quick. So yeah, actually, it kind of looked like the bas relief, except it's more ovular rather than square, like the one you guys found out in the gutter was. And on it is just the figure of just the most hideous person you have ever seen in your life. Like, you have no idea. Like, it's to the point that you think there's no way the artist just did this. Like, you can't make up this kind of ugly. You have no doubt that this poor person unfortunately exists somewhere out there on Toril, and the world is worse for it.
I take it up to the shop owner and I ask, like, what do you know about this person? Just kind of like in amazement.
So it also has a small tag on it that labels it as for sale for 3 silver pieces. And old Zablob tells you a tale of a man who was once so hideous that he was turned to stone by a Gorgon, that then upon the Gorgon actually paying attention to its marbleized features, turned to stone itself.
Oh. That's quite the story. Thanks for sharing with me. I'd like to purchase this. I hand over the 3, like, frantically just grab the 3 silver and give it to him.
Okay, he gives it back to you. Hands it back. Taking a bit more look at it, just because this person is so ugly, it's hard to tell. But after a few moments of kind of poring over it, you do realize that it is a woman depicted.
Okay.
We're stimulating the local economy. I feel good about myself.
I've never been in this shop before.
I would imagine that you only make your way to the dockwards to pick up deliveries. I can't imagine you spend much time hanging out around here.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Anybody else doing anything in the old Zoplov shop?
I'm looking for anything that looks like it would be a neat present for a small child.
Okay. Taking a look around. A small box catches your eye. You take a look, and it appears to be just a couple inches in size. Sorry. It appears to be made out of silver. It looks like an old snuff box, which wouldn't immediately seem like a gift for a child, but ornately carved into the lid of the box is the word dreams in common script. And you think, oh, you can store other knickknacks and whatnot in this. And it is has a small tag on it that it is for sale for 4 silver pieces.
Is it also covered with that? Oh, good.
Oh, I was just going to say, while they're doing that, I'm going to go look at the books, if he has any.
Tennyson, what were you saying, Meech?
Is it covered with that purple ink as well?
It is not an ink. This appears to be covered in kind of a lavender paint that did not clearly was just kind of splattered on because around the letters it did not get into any of the grooves, but it clearly was just kind of splashed over the top to where you kind of have to look close to tell that the word dreams is even carved into the top of it, just because it was done, just like painting over it was so poorly done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bring it over, and yeah, this is pretty interesting. I think I know someone who'd be interested in it.
Exchanges 4 silver pieces for it. It's the end of this. You said you were looking. Oh, sorry, Tennyson.
I asked him if he could write a receipt up, just in case the person I intend to give it to wants to bring it back.
Yeah, he writes. Oh, sorry, no refunds at Old Zoblobs.
Well,
you
maybe
100% satisfaction guarantee. You will be satisfied. No need for refunds.
Kind of like write up a certificate of authenticity. Let me know where it came from.
Oh yeah, that I can do for you. And as you approach him, he kind of saw you walk in. When you walked in, he noticed he gave you kind of an odd air, or an odd look. And you go to exchange, and when he reaches out, you see him kind of fiddling underneath his counter, and as he reaches out to take the coins from your hand, he smears some liquid onto your wrist with his index finger. Tennyson.
Would I know what this liquid is?
You hold out your wrist and take a look, and it appears to be a red ink. And he just looks at you and he's just like, glorious. As the blend of the red ink on your blue skin forms a very deep purple spot on your wrist.
Kind of, I wait for him to take the quill to like write up the receipt, and I kind of gesture for him to hand it to me. When
he pulls out a very ornate purple feather, and pulls out another inkwell, dips it in, and as you see him scrawling onto the light lavender parchment, a deep indigo color, as he writes up a tale of this snuff box coming into his possession from a trader and merchant who said that it belonged to a native chief down in the jungles of Chult.
When he's done, I find like an unwritten on portion of it. I tear it off, and then using a little bit of my thieves' cant, I'll just draw a eyeball and a question mark.
And pass it back to him?
Yep.
He writes out a second. He says, "Oh, you know what? I will go ahead and write you out that receipt." And go ahead and writes down a gift receipt for you and hands it to you. You look over it, and you notice that he has used some thieves' cant within how he wrote it up and it says eyes but not body, which you would know in thieves' cant tells you that he is a informant but not a member of the organization.
I draw a picture of a snake and I put a strike through it. And I say to him, thanks, and I really appreciate it. Here, I'm going to write down where I'm staying. I don't write the correct address. And within that, I'm going to write, I believe we're hunting some of your enemy. I'm sure it will assist you in your organization if you were to help us in this endeavor.
He replies in a way that tells you, basically he says, "Oh, well, thank you much, but I don't do any delivering. I just run the shop here. I don't get involved with those kinds of matters."
I just nod and take my slips of paper and go stand by the door while everyone else does what they're going to do.
Ciendithis asked a question, was looking at a specific place, but he has stepped away.
I can still hear you guys.
Shane, I went super long. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you're looking around, and you actually find a book. Who it appears to have a actually designed to be purple cover, but is completely blank inside.
I walk over to the shopkeep and I asked him, what's this book about?
He weaves you a tale about how it is said that only the chosen one will eventually be able to read the text inside.
Can I tell if he's lying or not?
You can roll an insight check, but you have a pretty good idea that this guy's a grifter and kind of makes up stuff just to sell curiosities in his shop. You don't really need an insight check to know he's probably full of shit.
Okay. How much is it?
It is 1 silver piece.
I'll take
For
it.
you, my man.
Thanks.
I saw you. You know what? No. He actually says, I won a few pieces of gold off of you not too long ago. That's on the house.
I nod and I say thank you.
What a generous man.
Did anyone not buy anything?
I wasn't really looking to buy anything. I was probably just browsing around, but still with an earshot of the conversations at the counter.
Yeah, so while you're just kind of haphazardly looking around, browsing, something does catch your eye. A just vibrant, of all of the shades of purple, your eye catches a magnificent blue sparkle on a shelf in the back of the shop. Taking a look, it's a singular earring that has just an ornate, almost perfect, magnificent blue teardrop hanging from the clasp.
And this catches my eye.
It does. It's one of the few things that aren't some shade of purple. I mean, I'm not going to argue about whether blue is a shade of purple or vice versa at the moment, but it stands out to you, and for some reason, you do seem to be drawn to it.
Okay. So I'll go look at it and pick it up and just kind of...
Has a small tag on it. Says it is for sale for 2 silver pieces.
And since everyone else is buying something, I say, hey, what the heck? I'll go buy this.
Okay. You exchange your gold for it. And that is that. Okay. And with that, anything else anyone would like to do in this scene?
I thank him for his information before we leave.
Cool. And with that, everyone heads outside. And what's the plan here?
We should probably
Meech, we can't hear you.
head up towards Candle Lane and see what we can slowly walk up there and see if we can catch an eye on what's going on or look for anything suspicious out there, because it doesn't look like we learn anything super useful. I don't quite know, Tennyson, what you were going back and forth with the shopkeep there about, but learn something from them?
Well, let's keep heading down the street here. I noticed some more signs of scuffle. Possibly poor Mr. Falloon was drugged down the street here, and I start heading down Zastro Street.
Head north along to where you found the bead.
Yeah.
You tell them about the bead?
Yeah.
Cool.
I just set it back down where it was, and then as we walk past it, I point to it.
Didn't see anything where we went down, so it's probably the best way to keep heading.
Okay. So we are going to continue our trek. Oh, go ahead.
As we get farther away from the shop, I say he's that gnome is informant for the Xanathar's Guild.
How do you know that?
I've learned that there's a common language between people of the different criminal undergrounds of the world. Luckily, this gnome is clever, but not overly clever, because he admitted as much in a document that he left in my possession.
You don't think we're in trouble for being associated with them or buying from them, do you?
Maybe.
I kind of like stare at the plate I bought and like try to decide if I should like get rid of it or something.
Hey, I'd probably wash that purple ink off of it.
Might be a good idea.
I'm kind of like buffing the purple ink off of the silver box as I walk down the street.
Okay. So as you all continue on,
Does mending get rid of that?
no.
No, yeah,
Prestidigitation
I
would.
so.
I'd say prestidigitation could clean them off.